Wanna Wanga.
What did you say?
Wanna Wanga.
I would certainly like to.
Wanna Wanga.
Oh, I don't think so. What did you say?
He's yelling. He's holding me back.
Wanna Wanga.
What did you say?
Wanna
What did you say?
Wanna Wanga.
I would certainly like to.
Wanna Wanga. Wanna Wanga. 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 Wanna Wanga. 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 Wanna Wanga. 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 Wanna Wanga. 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 Wanna Wanga. No Wanga. 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 Wanna Wanga. Wanna Wanga. Wanna Wanga. No Wanga. Wanna Wanga.
I want more.
Wanga.
And I know I shouldn't. And I know I shouldn't. I want more.
Wanga.
And I know I shouldn't. And I know I shouldn't. I want more.
Wanga.
And I know I shouldn't. And I know I should. More.
Wanga.
More.
Wanga.
More.
Hey guys, Rich from Richmond Gaming. Hope everyone is doing fantastically well. Welcome to this another episode of the Wanna Wanga. Hopefully you've all had a really good 2 weeks. It's coming round really quick when we're doing these, even though we said we'd only do them once every 2 weeks. It does feel like we're doing them a lot more. Fortnightly, yes indeed. And and joining me as ever is Mr. Quinn Duggan. Quinn, how the hell are you doing, sir? Have you been doing lots of shatter pointing?
I've been doing a fair bit of shatter pointing.
Fair bit of shatter pointing.
But mostly
excellent.
Playing, not painting, because, you know, let's be honest, we all play more than we paint.
I'm really happy because I have now finished. They are magnetised, but I'm scared. I have finished my entire core box.
Very nice.
The phase, let's call it the phase 1 wave, so the first packs that came out in phase 1. I've done my 2 clone commandos, and right now I'm currently painting up terrorist and trainer of terrorist. So yeah, I'm really enjoying painting these. Like the cloaks on them, you don't really get many sweeping cloaky type things in MCP.
Yeah, not a great deal.
On a lot of characters.
You know, Edna mode, right? No capes.
No capes. No capes. So yeah, I have been enjoying painting them.
I think I've got about a quarter of my stuff done total. Ignoring basing, I've only got 2 models fully based, but yeah. Yeah,
I am only allowing myself to open the next box once the other ones are painted. Because I got a point with these. I got a point in painting up Luminar, and I was like, oh man, I really don't want to paint it. I might just go open that Vader box. And I was like, nope, you don't open the Vader box until you finish painting these 2 up. So yeah, and I have rebased them as well, Quinn. I know I got a lot of comments about, welcome to Games Workshop circa
with your really flat ground.
So we do have proper tufts and things on there now as well. So yes, they are.
You're moving up in the world. You're moving up in the world.
Well, I always knew I was going to do it. I just needed to get around to doing it. So
now you just need to get yourself some cool trees.
Well, I do have these little things here. Let me just find these. So these were some trees that I bought for some diorama stuff. And I'm thinking that I'm gonna clip these, and there'll be some nice different bushes, twigs, trees, that sort of thing as well. So
I like those.
The plan is to chop some of these down, and then use those as some scatter ground terrain type stuff. is the plan. Hope everyone's doing well. Justine, hope you're well. Glenn, hope you are well as well. Justin says, did you shatter point the bed? Well, I've been up since this morning. And when I got up this morning, I was speaking to Quinn, who hadn't yet been to bed. So, yeah. Really think you should bring on Phil for a quartet. Maybe we get Phil on one day, Glyn. He needs to... We've granted him a seat at the table, but we have not... we have not given him the title of master. I think that's where we're at the moment. But no, Phil's a good guy. He's been helping out a hell of a lot when it comes to the community stuff. So Phil, if you are watching... Oh, there we go, look. There we go. Don't you wish that on it? Excellent. Quinn, we're talking about the bad motherfucker today, aren't we?
We are.
We are talking about the bad motherfucker. And look, how you might think we're a little bit behind when we do these, and yes, we are, but that is purposeful, right? We had Mace Windu out last time, and we purposely didn't talk about him because we hadn't got many games in with him, right? We hadn't seen his full box.
Well, we couldn't get any games in with him because we didn't have the rest of his pack, and the rest of the pack is the only way to play him legally at the moment because Pons is the only free.
Unless Ron lets you off.
Yeah, unless Ron lets you off and just lets you take Cody, who is genuinely worse than Pons in my opinion.
Yep, completely agree, and costs a point more. Yeah, so what we like to do with these guys, why it might seem like we're a couple of weeks behind with them, we'd rather get the games in with them because honestly, there are some characters who we've seen and gone, they're going to be amazing, and you start playing with them and you go, yeah, but you know what? They really like to use all of that force up.
Yeah, I mean, like, do you remember when like Luminara was revealed and everyone thought she was great because of Flow of the Force? And you know, my prevailing opinion, because he's just objectively correct, she's wank. Also, she is wank. With regard to us being a bit behind, taking that time to get the games in, I think it also offers something a bit different, like content-wise, to what you get in other places, where you get those initial reactions.
Yeah,
plenty of people do those, whereas we bring something with a bit more backing.
Hot takes are fine, but we'd rather give you our views of getting, and we've had now, Quinn, a good number of games in.
I played probably
with Windu.
Well, the night that Pons and Arf Troopers got revealed, I played about 5
games. 5 games. Wow.
Yeah. Well, I played 4 with Phil during the night, and then 1 in the morning with Ron, and then I played probably another 5 games since, one of which was against you in the event. I've got a decent number of games in. I fucking love the dude. He's great.
He's really, really good. But hi to Daz, hope you well, and Phil's here as well. There we go. Let's just jump in, Quinn. Let's jump in and take a look at the bad motherfucker, also known as Jedi Master Mace Windu. I like that he's got, like, obviously the other ones are generals, aren't they?
Yeah, they're General Anakin Skywalker, General Obi-Wan Kenobi. Where
Jedi Master.
Well, yeah, because isn't Mace like Yoda's Grand Master of the Jedi Order, right?
Yes.
Isn't Mace Master of the Order though? Isn't that like his special?
He's got a different title, hasn't he?
I think he's Master of the Order because he's like the head of the council or something.
Yeah,
it's something.
Yeah,
along
I think you
those
might be right. I've played against Mace at least 6 times now, which means Quinn's played him at least twice that. So let's break his card down, Quinn. First thing that stands out, 6 squad points.
Oh boy.
6 squad points. John Vickery, hope you're well, buddy. Hope you are well. 6 squad points. And as you'd expect, Quinn, only bringing 6 squad points, he brings 4 force. Like, yeah, you have to bring. I think if you're 7 or above, or 7 or below, depending on how you call it.
I mean, it would be below.
It would be below, yeah. Yeah. No, but it's like, as in.
I know, it's like golf.
It is like golf, isn't it? The lower the number, the better you should be.
It's also boring for old men.
But you would expect him to bring 4 force with him, right?
At least 4. I think we will probably see like a 6 or 2 in the future that maybe bring 5. Those more force attuned characters.
And what's really interesting, Quinn, is that until he has taken a wound, he only really has one. In fact, no, he only has one thing to.
Yeah, he only has one thing. Full stop.
Yeah, he's only got one thing. Full stop. Tempered aggression. But yeah, so 6 squad points. Obviously, just the Gar era, or whatever it is. I mean, it's the Clone Wars era. I think they're referring to it as.
Fall of the Jedi is what they call it in the book.
Right. No, but as in its official title within.
Its official title within Chatterpoint is Fall of the Jedi.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah. Because that's also the official Lucasfilm term for it now as well, I think.
Right, okay. But anyway, Galactic Republic era. I always know it as Gar.
I mean, it is the Clone Wars, man. There you go.
Clone Wars, man, yeah. Love the artwork on it, Quinn.
Yeah, solid showing from our lad Gary Daniels III.
Yeah. Is it? Do you think that's what it is, Gary Daniels III? I think it must
Gary
be.
Daniels, aye.
Aye. Maybe he's like got a Roger thing.
He's just really surprised. Aye.
Aye. What's that off? It's like some robot thing. No. Aye. I can't remember. Anyway, let's get on to the main part of his card. Obviously, Jedi Master Mace Windu, primary unit, single character. He has a tactic, Quinn, which is nice. Rush to action. At the start of this unit's activation, choose another Galactic Republic unit. Each character in this unit and each character in the chosen unit may dash. So, potentially 3 dashes off there. I really like this. I love the fact that it is anybody else and it is him. I think it's really, really good.
I think the fan might be coming through now as well.
Oh, I don't care. It's too warm.
Fair
it's
enough.
Too warm. It is the robot from Power Rangers. Yes.
There's a robot in
Alpha 5. Justin, is it Alpha 5? The guy with the dish for a head. Alpha 5. There we go, Sean.
I am so confused.
Have you not seen Power Rangers?
No, I was never really into Power Rangers as a kid because it was shit.
I suppose it's a little bit before your time.
It might have been fine when you were back in the day when you were playing with hoop and stick, but
wow. Rush to action, Quinn, as a opening tactic move. What are your thoughts on it?
Don't love it as an opening tactic on most boards, just because I like to be able to get him a little bit further up the board, then do a dash up to an ingress, because he does struggle with elevation, as we see when we get to the rest of his card. But
he does.
It is a very good tactic for mid to late round 1. After you've done a bit of setup for Mace himself, it means that he brings he can bring his own support units along with him for that coordinated fire that all clone supports have. I think genuinely it's probably fighting for the best tactic in the game. Kalani's is really good, but Mace is only moving one less model, and one of the models he's moving is himself.
That is true. If you choose to move a support unit, you're right. But I like the fact that it can be anyone, right?
It can be anyone, and there's no range to it as well. So
yes.
There's later turns where you've sent him off to one side of the board. Maybe he's killed a Darth Maul and you thought you won the game, and then he repositions away and he's out of the game for most of the rest of it.
I think for me, ideally, you want, as you say, it's not a great opener. If you have to play it, it's okay.
Yeah.
But I think if you kind of want to get him up with either a Rex or an Ahsoka or so, you want him moving up once before, so that he can then dash, move, and then probably be engaged with somebody to have more of an impact, I feel.
And then just whack him in the face.
And then just absolutely whack them in the face, yeah. But I think you're right. I think it is strong. I do think probably because of the no range, it just pips Kalani. And the fact that it can be anyone, right? It
Yeah,
can just
like
be anyone.
well, it's any Galactic Republic, but like Galactic Republic as a tag is, it's more populated than the Battle Droid category at the moment.
Well, if you're running Mace Windu, you are running a full Galactic Republic team, right? That's a squad. Strike team, there we go. I was right with team, just missed the strikeout. So yeah, really good, really, really solid. But yeah, probably, as it is with most primaries, there are a few primaries in the game that you want to be your opening turn, right? Very, very few. If, maybe none. Probably none.
I quite like a Grievous opener, to be honest.
You do. You've stole my Gar Saxon opener, haven't you? And have started doing it with Grievous.
I haven't stolen it. I've made it better.
You stand here amongst my achievements. Cool. Reactive, tempered aggression. When a character in this unit makes an attack, after all attack and defense dice have been rolled, this unit may spend any number of force to use this ability. Reroll 1 failure results in the attack roll for each force spent. Couple of things on this, Quinn.
There shouldn't be an S on result there, right?
Reroll 1 result. 1 failure result. Yeah,
because
bad.
Even without the S, if it's multiple, it still works as a sentence.
It's bad England. Yeah.
England is my city.
I like the fact that this is any number.
Any number is
any
like,
number.
Oh, you throw 7 dice in, they're all fails. 7 force, go again.
Yeah, like really, really like that. Only the second access to any rerolls in the entire game.
Being coded.
And they're both Galactic Republic.
It's just that it's just that rigorous Grand Army like training.
Clone bias. That's what I'm saying.
Look, we all knew when Shatterpoint was announced, and they said it was predominantly Clone Wars themed, that they were going to get special treatment for the clones.
Oh, absolutely.
Because everyone likes the clones.
Absolutely. But yeah, I really like this, Quinn. I think it's very solid. Timing wise, you don't have to pay it before you've rolled your dice, which is really good.
Yeah, same as Dooku's cancellation, right? Which
They did a rat to that. It is an attack, so it is not just an attack action. So I mean, right now, I don't believe there's any way of it triggering. I don't think there's any way of triggering attack on Mace Windu outside of his attack actions. But in the future, if there is, then
maybe
this will work on that as well.
If you get Tactical Network Galactic Republic, something like that. Like, I don't think it'll ever happen because that sounds like a great way to just break the game even more.
But yeah, really, really strong. His first innate Shatterpoint. I mean, this guy. If anyone hasn't read the it's now Legends, isn't it? The Shatterpoint book. It's brilliant.
Legends now, but yeah.
But this is his signature move, isn't it? Basically?
It's like his big force ability. If you played Fallen Order, Cal Kestis has the Force Echoes that he can do. A few Jedi have like special little things that they do.
Yeah.
Mace's one is the best one.
Yes, it's pretty good. And the way that they've chose to show that in the game is when this unit is chosen to activate with a Shatterpoint card, if its active stance is Form 7 Vapad?
I say Vapad, but that's definitely wrong. But I think
because the A's are in the... I think that it's Varpad.
Yeah, but Varpad doesn't sound as good as Vapad.
Vapad, yeah. It immediately makes a focus action, and characters in this unit have Impact 1 until the end of the turn. Impact 2 until the end of the turn.
That's 3 extra dice.
If its active stance is Jedi Master, refresh 2 Force, and 1 character in this unit may heal. Oh, we've got Force refresh.
Force refresh in Republic
in the Gar
is bonkers good. It's amazing.
All of a sudden, like Anakin, Vader, they just... Because that's the thing, right? That's the thing that holds the Galactic Republic back a little bit, is they have to be more
You
careful
have
than
to be
any other
very, very
faction
conscious about it. Like,
with their force use.
you know, when I play Separatist, I literally don't even count how many force I've got left because I know I've got enough. Like,
Yeah,
literally,
exactly.
I played a game against, I think it was Ron this morning, and I went through my entire deck and started my final activation of that deck with all my force remaining.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
very easily done.
Very, very easily done if no one wants to punch Dooku, and they rarely do.
No. It's a German V, so it's pronounced like an F. What? Is it really?
He's trying to get you to say Fapad.
I don't
As
know what
in,
that
you
means.
know.
Oh, okay. Thanks, troll. Thought Mace's skill was flying out the window. This is. I mean,
It's exceptional. Like, I love the theme of it, like using the actual Shatterpoint card, incorporating that into it. I thought it was going to be something like you use your opponent's expertise in your attack rolls, something bonkers like that, because, like, it's more of a Vapard thing. And yes, I'm going to keep saying it like that because it sounds better. Fuck off. Like the whole because Vapard is the lightsaber form that he created, right?
yes, yeah, absolutely. It's a
And
blend, isn't it? It's really close to the dark side as well.
What it does is it like creates a closed circuit, right? Where you basically use your opponent's dark side energy and like funnel it back into them, like redirecting it in essence. So I thought that was going to be like against characters with the Sith keyword, like you count their defensive expertise as your offensive expertise, something like that. I'm well aware you're blowing your nose, Rich.
Yeah, so you keep talking whilst I blow my nose.
No, I'm going to call it out. Look at him with his little tissue.
No, I hid my camera.
Oh,
I hid
right,
my
great.
camera.
You could have
Sorry,
told
guys.
me that.
I am feeling a little under the weather today, so apologies in advance. But yeah, look, there is absolutely no reason why you would ever not activate Windu with the Shatterpoint.
Well, no, there are. You
There
draw
are.
Shatterpoint
No.
with the first card. You don't want to go with Windu in that instance. You go
There
with someone
absolutely,
like this.
there absolutely are. Yes, but once you're in the game,
Well, once you're in the thick of it, like it could be like it just a primary off a Shatterpoint is always like it's typically going to be very impactful anyway. But
Things
when
were
you're getting the
moving very
bonuses that
quickly.
Mace is getting off of it, it becomes even more impactful. And I'd say probably 8 or 9 times out of 10, you're going to be getting the Jedi Master portion of Shatterpoint because that is his better defensive form, and
It
it's
is.
very good as a defensive form.
yeah, it really is. It really is. And then on to his identity. This part is over. While the character in this unit is engaged, allied Galactic Republic characters within 5 have steadfast and protection.
That
Now,
includes him.
that does include him. Do steadfast and protection stack?
No.
So it doesn't
Trust
work.
me, I have already done the research on this. Don't you worry, my friend.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
Oh, you get protection too.
But it is nice because it all of a sudden gives it to Obi-Wan. Because let's be honest, you're going to be running Obi-Wan with him.
I mean, because of the way they've set up, like, Republic, Obi-Wan is always going to be in my Republic list because, like, he's just necessary. I do wish that they'd, like, divvied... I've said this multiple times.
Yeah, you have.
I wish they'd divvied up his identity to be, like, one part on the clones, the other part on him. Like, just something.
It would have been better, yeah. And then lastly, his tags. He is a Force user. He is, of course, Galactic Republic. And he is, of course, a Jedi. Interesting that they haven't, like... they haven't put anything in there for, like, Jedi Master. They've put in tags for, like, future-proofing with, like, Night Owls and Death Watch.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it feels like Jedi Master would be a very... Like... There is only one purpose that tag would serve, and you know what it is?
Go on.
Well, it'd be to grant Anakin a seat on the council, but not give him the rank of Master. It's literally the only thing it'd be used for, because I don't think there's going to be anything that's, like, synergizes with Jedi Masters, just because... Like,
No, probably not.
You're almost, like, at most, you're probably going to have 2 on the board at a time. like on each
Yeah.
side. Like I can't
Oh,
see
you're not going to get
that-
a secondary.
like unless they do like, you know, Palpatine's arrest and you get like Agent Cola or Sastin. Something like, you know, those guys that probably aren't going to warrant their own box.
Maybe, maybe not. Nothing makes me more mad than that party power. I always forget about it. Yeah.
No. The thing that Phil really hates is the fact that Mace is 11 stamina whilst almost always having protection.
Yeah, so 11 stamina and 3 durability. 3 durability is pretty standard.
Yeah.
With the exception of 1, I think.
It's only Maul, I believe.
So it's just Maul. Poor Maul. But yeah, look, really, really solid. Let's take a look at his
Answers.
stance cards, dearie me. Let's start off with the Jedi Master Quinn. It looks like first glance, you go 6'6". It looks a little bit underwhelming, doesn't it? But obviously,
And then you look at the expertise. Oh boy.
dearie me. So he is 6s across the board, right? 6 defense, and then 6 in offense. Maxing out damage wise at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so 8 either way, irrespective. He's got access to 3 shoves. He's got an expose in there, and he's got a jump in there as well. His expertise on his lightsaber, Gesundheit, is very good.
It's okay. It's not, you know, results equal to. It's results.
It's not. It's
You know,
not.
a step
But
down.
one for one's always nice. Like that's
One
I
for one
always
ain't
think.
bad.
And then 3 to 4 for 2, 5 plus for 3. But obviously we have to factor in Quinn the fact that he's got access to those rerolls, right? Like
Does have rerolls,
so
yeah.
he's got a good chance of being able to roll better than average on his dice because he does get those rerolls in there as well. Aggressive defense. I mean, so it's only an extra block across the board, but strike to a fail, crit to a fail, strike to a fail, like crit to a fail, strike to a fail, jump. Like
Yeah.
turning 2 just straight to fails is just crazy.
I mean,
Like,
in
absolutely
essence,
crazy.
it is always 2 blocks rather than 1 because of that strike to fail.
Yeah, effectively.
But those are mechanically the same thing, pretty much.
And you add in protection, so that's so once you add all of the things in together, it's why he's what I will say, Quinn, is a little bit like Obi-Wan with consistent, right?
Yeah.
You can feel hard done by if you don't consistently get, let's say, 3 or 4 results through with obviously depending on who you're hitting, but with Mace Windu, and we'll get on to why you're probably going to be getting even more in a little bit. So Form 7 Varpad drops a little bit on his defense, so only 5s, goes up a die, up to from 6 to 7. His damage output is significantly higher.
Oh, yeah.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 with a reposition. I mean, he's the only character in the game, I believe, who can dish out every single condition in a single attack.
Swing, yes. Obi-Wan does have access to all of them, but his strain is only on Sorosu.
Yeah, exactly that. So single attack, and he can actually go up, down, and actually do them all as well.
Like, if you're overkilling, you might as well just go, have every condition, dickhead.
Yeah, absolutely. And even that is still 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage, which, is going to
It'll kill
most
any
characters.
support in the game, bar Fifth Brother.
And B1s. And
And
B2s.
Okay, yeah, actually.
And Magna Guard.
All right. It'll kill any clone.
When he turns.
I've revised my statement.
Aggressive defense, he gets more in the way of blocks, but he gets far less in the way of dice manipulation. But he does get a reposition off the back end of one of them, which is quite nice. Quinn, what's your thoughts in terms of opening stance versus what you flip into at the end of your turn?
Well, my approach so far in Shatterpoint has always been that you open with your more aggressive stance, because in the early stages of the game, aside from a few exceptions like Gar Saxon and potentially Grievous, you are pretty safe on your deployment line. So defense isn't a big, worry. Whereas you actively want to be in your more aggressive stance for when you activate, so that then at the end of your activation, after you potentially attacked, you can flip into the more defensive and be safer until like your next activation, which could be, 1 to 12 activations later.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think I agree. I think probably the only exception to that is where a character has a ranged attack on one side and not on the other. That might factor into it.
Depending on whether that stance is more defensive or not, yes.
Yeah. But look, he's the most expensive character in the game. And by virtue of the fact that he brings the least number of points, I think he's really good. I think he's a very good addition to the Galactic Republic. I think for me, he is now the other half of the best Galactic Republic list in the game.
Probably. I still have a soft spot for Aniobi, but I do love me some Mace.
He is very, very good. I would say the only limitations are right now he has only got a choice of 1 secondary and 2 support units that he can bring with him.
Within the confines of Republic, yeah. But
you're not bringing B ones.
I mean, you could. Also with regard to those 2 choices, there is one very clear winner. Let's not get
absolutely.
Ourselves. We'll get on to
absolutely. Them. So let's talk about his secondary then, Quinn.
His lovely friend,
CT 411 Commander Pons. He's going to cost 3, obviously. He looks a bit skinny in this picture, Quinn. Like, it looks a bit like, compare him to Rex and to Cody.
He's got the phase 1 armor on, right?
He does.
Also, he has a weird brown sleeve that I feel like they just didn't notice. There's no reason that sleeve, bit of sleeve should be brown.
No. But CT 411 Commander Pons, cost 3. Start off, he's got a charge. At the start of his unit's activation, choose another allied Galactic Republic character. The chosen character may dash.
They may pay 2 power, move their speed, and get a free attack. Yeah.
No.
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 Okay.
No.
Be real good if it was.
Wrong game, Quinn. So look, it's okay. Like, we have to remember Quinn. He's the first 3-cost secondary in the game. He is going to have some downsides, right? Downsides to this are it doesn't let you do it on himself. Downsides are you don't get the hunker token like you do with Get a Move on Soldier. But I think this is perfectly fine. You pull Pons first, you use it to move window up or something like that. Yeah. You don't feel bad with it.
Like, he does his job, and he does it well enough for me to not complain about him when it costs 3.
Yeah, absolutely. And then 2 innate abilities, and that is it. So incoming, allied clone trooper units within 3 that have 1 or more hunker tokens have immunity expose.
Pretty damn good. You'd rather have it than not.
The thing about this is, Quinn, as I discovered, is you can have 1 clone trooper on one side of the board within 3 of Pons, and then another clone trooper unit of the same... another clone trooper character in the same unit that is the other side of the board. And because they are units, they are both immune.
I forgot I did that to you, to be honest.
I'm gonna say this, Quinn. I do not like that. I think this should be allied clone trooper characters within 3.
I mean,
but then they share it. So how do you do it?
I think whilst it can be frustrating as someone playing into it, overall, I think it's not too big of a deal. There aren't that many. There are 2 lists in this game currently that give out a large amount of expose, and that's it. One of them is Republic now,
and the other one is Dathomir. Yeah.
Like it's good against two lists. Against most others, it's a very niche ability.
And you do
yeah.
have to have the hunker and things like that.
You need a
so,
hunker.
yeah.
Like someone has to be within three of them, and sometimes he's just dead, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. And then the one that really puts his stamp on things and really mixes things up quite a lot is Forward Scout. When deploying a squad that includes this unit, allied clone trooper secondary characters and allied clone trooper supporting characters may be placed within 2 of the first place character from that squad's primary unit instead of the normal 1. Couple of things to break down this one, Quinn, and we broke this down on the tier list video we did last week. So first of all, it's just really good, right? You deploy from 2 rather than 1. Gives you a lot more flexibility. Second one is first placed.
Yeah, first
alluding
place
to the
primary.
fact that we are going to get primary units that come with more than 2 characters.
It's either alluding to the fact or it's just future proofing for the possibility. And I feel like future proofing is a lot more likely than alluding to at the moment. I can't think of many primaries you'd get as a 2 model unit. If any, really.
Yeah, probably
Right.
not. Probably not.
The only thing I could think of was the 2 hot twins from Book of Boba Fett.
I don't think it's going to be them.
I don't think they'd be on separate bases. They just sort of like slug around together, wouldn't they?
Do you think you can take Pons with Anakin Vader to take a 4-cost support? Yes.
Yeah,
100%.
definitely.
Yeah.
I
100%.
personally wouldn't go for it because both of those primaries can now just take ARF troopers in their 3-cost slot, and that is probably going to do better for you than whatever you got for 4.
Yeah, then that's the thing, isn't it? Is that what are your 4-cost choices? Clone Commandos. You're probably taking them with Obi-Wan as your clones of choice.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but you absolutely can, right? You absolutely can.
Yeah.
Especially if you were running, let's say, I mean, and what this does open up, Quinn, is the ability to take Vader in a Inquisitor list and have both supports running.
And have both sports. I mean, if you look at our tier list video, why would you want to play Fourth Sister? But
that is true. That is
know.
true. Ewoks could have a 2-character primary. Rancor and Rancor Keeper. I feel like Jabba is the primary on anything that comes with a Rancor.
I still think Jabba is going to be how we get like original trilogy Boba Fett.
Ooh,
Like he'll come in that box, and Jabba will have an ability that says, rather than taking a support unit in this character's squad, you may take another secondary, so he can have 2 bounty hunters with them.
Ooh.
You heard it here first, folks.
I don't know.
I called it right on the Dathomirian box before they were revealed, before the game was even out.
I want me some Gamorrean Guard though.
You get them with Boba Fett and Fennec Shand.
Yeah, maybe. Jabba is scenery. Jabba will have like protection for.
Yeah, just like hide. This character has protection value for something silly like that.
Will Hera and Kanan be a 2-character primary? No, I think you're going to get 2 squads.
The Rebels box is a whole strike team.
Yeah, it's an entire strike team. Jabba's support will be Carbonite Han Solo.
No. It's just Salacious Crumb, like the little monkey lizard, just going.
It's a Rancor. His support is a Rancor.
It's not. He's going to come with 2 bounty hunters. I'm calling it.
I don't think so. Anyway,
The Oracle has spoken.
Oh, dearie me. Let's take a look at Superior Recon. So 6'5", 5'5",
I do
5.
think it's important to mention that Pons is only 7 stamina.
He is, yes, it is worth mentioning actually. So he's only 7 stamina. But again, he only costs 3. Like, you have to have some downsides to him. And then he's Clone Commando, Clone Trooper, Clone Republic. The Clone Commando tag hasn't come in yet. Not sure if it ever will.
Yeah, the only other, there's 2 units other than Pons with it. Those being the actual commandos and Cody.
Cody, yeah, is the other one. Yeah, so be interesting to see if anything. Maybe that's where we get a first, a primary clone, right?
Maybe if they do a Delta Squad, maybe Delta Squad synergizes with Clone Commandos. Maybe that's like Boss's thing.
Maybe that's a thing. Yeah. Who knows? Who knows?
AMG knows. They knows.
Do they? Superior recon, so we said 6555, range 5. Look, it's fine, right? It's absolutely fine for what it is. His phase 2 clone armor, Quinn, you got out to say about that?
Right, so if you look up in this, just in the top middle of this card, you see the little portrait of the character, yeah?
Yeah. This bit just here, yeah.
This bit you notice here. Anything about that helmet? Other than the cool lake paint job he's done on it, he's made it look all nice.
I mean, it looks kind of phase 1 to me.
Yeah, it's almost like Pons, literally dies before phase 2 armor is actually disputed to the clones. It's almost like he's just straight
almost
up
like
wrong.
He died before.
Yeah, he's just fucking dead.
Yeah, they're commanders, not commandos. Says Charlie Alders. I think there's an argument to say that they have commando training, but they are commanders.
Yeah, they have gone through a selection process and been trained to a certain standard. Yeah. In a similar vein to how Rex has ARC trooper training.
Yeah, exactly that.
But it's part of the command structure rather than being spec ops.
Combat tree wise, Quinn. Let's break down his DC blaster rifle and his DC 17 blaster pistols, because he will shoot you with a rifle and punch you with his pistols. Expertise is okay. He's actually a little bit better up close and personal.
He sacrificed your dice for it, but it's not bad.
I know, but 1 expertise for a crit and a strike.
Yeah, it's less good when you roll 3 expertise and you're left there hanging.
It is true. It is true.
He's got a decent bit of output to him. What, he's got 7?
Yeah, 7.
7's not bad. I really like his reposition on 2.
Reposition on 2 and push on 2 is nice.
I find as well. You chuck 6 dice from someone who's not too big defensively. You get that reposition, gives him that bit of mobility he's lacking with the fact he doesn't have defensive maneuver.
Yeah. I think I really like it. He's got a lot of conditions. Well, two conditions he can dish out as well: disarm and pin. You have to make a choice over the shove or the reposition, which again is fine. It almost feels a little unintuitive to have the pin where it is. I kind of like the shove and the pin together, and you can't access both. Do you know what I mean?
It's less unintuitive and more just not quite as good, right?
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Sorry, but yeah, it's it would have been nice to have them that way around. But yeah, perfectly serviceable.
Remember, he's a 3. They do have to.
And he costs 3. Absolutely. On a more serious note, I really want Palpatine Royal Guards as support. IRG have to be his support units.
I couldn't give a flying fuck about Palpatine. What I want is Darth Sidious.
Yes.
I don't want withered old man Palpatine
He's still
on his little
powerful
chair that he has to turn with his own feet because the motor broke in it. I want Sidious when he goes to fuck up Maul and kill Savage. That's what I want. And
Are the characters... One second, Quinn. Are the characters from Republic Commando video game Legends or canon?
Canon.
The video game... No.
Video game isn't canon.
The video game is not canon, but just like they did with a lot of... Thrawn started off in Legends, right? They've taken lots of things that were not canon and brought them into canon. So the Commandos are the same. Republic Commandos are canon.
Specifically, Delta Squad show up in the episode where Savage sort of makes his, in that sort of arc where he makes his debut, because they escort the body of the Jedi he kills to prove himself to Dooku.
They've been in Bad Batch as well. They've been in Rebels.
Have they been in Rebels?
I'm sure they were in Rebels.
Gregor was in Rebels. I don't think any of Delta Squad were.
Maybe not. Yeah, maybe not. But yeah, overall, Quinn, what are your thoughts? It brings a bit of flexibility, as somebody mentioned, to the 7 cost.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's a 3. He's the only 3 we've got, so we've not really got a comparison point. But I am happy if this is what 3s are going to be in the future.
Well, no, this is what 3 clones are going to look like. Obviously, everything else will look worse. Because
yeah, that's how the game works.
Clones get...
Whoa, right. Tell that to the 501st, mate. The worst 3-cost support in the game.
That is true. That is true.
They have the best and they have the worst.
Let's move on to the most utter bullshit, broken thing in this game right now. ARF clone troopers. And if you're wondering why, let me just move these back down. Why I think they're utter bullshit, well, let's go through them. So they cost 3 Quinn. They are ARF clone troopers supporting unit, obviously 2 characters in there. It's all looking pretty standard, Quinn. Defensive maneuvers, coordinated fires, brothers in arms, lay low, coordinated fire, expose.
Oh, what, you mean the thing that is on the Night Sisters that you play all the time?
Yes. The difference here being the entire board gets access to them rather than 4 characters.
It's only 2 more units.
You sound miffed off. Mate, I am. This is... Having played
I educated
against
you in the
this.
ways of pain.
You tell people, Quinn, about them. I need to give my nose a quick blurt.
Right, so, well, those of you that don't know, on the Discord, the Savage Lands, link in the description, I think, maybe, I don't know. I'm not responsible for these kinds of things. We have monthly events. We've been doing quite a few for Shatterpoint as of late. The latest one we did was a Premier format event, just because we wanted to try it out. And I put Mace Windu's box in there just after we saw Mace Windu's card, knowing that I would only be able to play them in like the latter half of the event, the last 2 weeks. And in the 3rd round of the event, Rich and I got drawn together. And I was like, you know what? Like, Windu's box has been out for like a couple of days. I might as well give him a spin. I want to be the first on that leaderboard on Shanks. And I think it's safe to say I absolutely brutalized Rich.
Yep. I don't believe you made an attack in this game that didn't use coordinated fire exposed.
There would have been 1, maybe 2. However, part of that's your fault, because you decided to put your entire army on the side of the board that had the ARF troopers.
Yeah. So I want to pick up something just in here that you're saying. Just because B501st sucks doesn't mean they're broken. B1s and Magna Guards also 3 and very strong.
Oh,
you are right.
They're not broken because 501st sucks. They're broken because Coordinated Fire Exposed is a silly thing and shouldn't exist on any character in the game.
Yeah. They cost 3 and they've got 7 stamina and they've got lay low and they can get protection. Like, it's utterly stupid. Utterly stupid. They need, I mean, at the very least, Quinn, they need to only have 6 stamina. Like, if you compare these to the Night Sisters, who cost 1 more, you can't justify that cost anywhere.
And we have justified the cost.
There's no justification.
Your defensive maneuver is straight up better. Your lay low is straight up better. You get extra dice when you're shooting into people, and your combat tree is straight up better. Your expertise isn't as good.
The expertise is nowhere near as good. I mean,
your combat tree is better.
Let's have a quick look at their expertise, right?
Yeah, like, this is what I wish 501st had expertise-wise.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Like... What do they have? Like one strike, 1 crit is the only option they get. Is that right on 501st?
They get 1 strike on 3 expertise, 1 to 3 expertise, and then beyond that you get a singular crit, which is pathetic. Also, their bash in melee is 1 or more. You get 1 result.
Yeah.
The 501st are meant to be one of the best, like, clone forces in the Grand
They
Army.
turn into Vader's fist. Like,
Yeah. Like, they are meant to be very much... They're not... They're probably the next step down from, like, your Spec Ops, right?
yeah, they are the most elite numbered clone. I don't know.
They're not elite because they're the only Legion, and Legions are bigger than battalions in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Because I mean, yes, that's what they are in real life as well. But equally, Star Wars like Force organization makes no fucking sense.
Oh yeah, it doesn't conform to anything. Absolutely.
No.
Absolutely.
But yeah, like they, they are very. There's a reason they're applied to the most dangerous, important situations the war has to offer. And it's because they're led by Anakin, who is one of the most reckless but, successful generals in the Republic. And also, they're damn good at their job.
They've also got Rex as well, right?
Yeah.
Like, that just puts them up there. So, look, Justin, we're only comparing them to 1 or 2 units. These guys have more impact on a game themselves as the B1s and the Magna Guards do. Like,
as themselves, is that, not accounting for coordinate fire?
no, in terms of just what they do, right? So, accounting for coordinated fire.
Okay, I still think Magna Guard do. Magna Guard are probably just a little bit below par. Magna Guard can do a lot of very good stuff with that free advance.
They can with the 1 free advance.
Coordinated fire exposed is still very, very silly.
But you also do get the defensive maneuver on these guys, right? Which, yes, is not as good as a free advance, but it is still very, very good because it gives them a
They've got a mobility
token.
trick. They're spending a force for it, which Magna Guard don't do. So
They're also deploying. They're also deploying 3 times further up the board.
Yeah, it is 3 times, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
there's no accounting for extra bases in there. Yeah,
so they're deploying 3 times further up the board as well. So actually, that defensive maneuver, if they're going second, can often get them into because what you want with your ARF troopers is you split them up so that range 5 bubble is covering as much of the board as possible, isn't it?
You also have, in my experience, you have to be quite careful with them because a savvy opponent will do everything in their power to wound them as quickly as humanly possible.
I tried.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You shot pawns.
No, I did try. Remember,
You got them down to 1 and I healed them to full. But equally, I deployed in a way that meant you couldn't do your silly little Gar Saxon trick on them.
Yes, that is true. That is true.
Whilst yes, you tried to kill them, I also took preventative measures against that, right? Which definitely is something that factors into, their general shtick. You do still have... They're not brainless. They're very close to but they're not quite brainless.
But I don't think there's any units, any characters in this game that are brainless. I really don't think there are. Maybe Maul.
Maul isn't brainless.
No, because even
you have
then,
to think about Maul.
Especially with this pull.
Savage is pretty brainless. He's literally an unwitting brute.
I don't know.
He's an unwitting brute.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? Yeah. But yeah, look, I mean, I just think they just need a little tweak. I don't know. Maybe coordinated fire should only be clone troopers.
I think if you do that, you have to potentially... You have to reorganize the entirety of Republic, most likely.
This just needs to be something but other than exposed.
Well, what I think is the easiest and most elegant solution is that any instance of coordinated fire exposed in the game is just gone, and you replace it with a more fitting coordinated fire. The Night Sisters can do fucking strain or something. These guys can do disarm. Exposed is the single most impactful condition in the game in terms of actually hitting someone. And this only happens when you're hitting someone. yeah, it is an issue.
Yeah, I do think so. What is the silly little Gar Saxon trick? So, Charlie, if you position correctly, turn 1, if you pull Gar Saxon, you can move and jump. And because you've moved another Mandalorian, you can move and be within 2 of them to trigger your focus, your sharpshooter, and everything else. And basically roll 9 dice into your opponent's back line, turn 1.
To anyone that has been deployed.
Anyone that's been deployed within range
You're not
1 of
shooting
your...
primaries with it.
No, you can't reach primaries.
I think unless you have an ingress, you can only go for the foremost character.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure, but you've been using the ingress for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it would work without the ingress, but yeah, so... or you put the expose on after the attack has been resolved. Not sure if that works, but it would be less brutal. Then you're falling into the realms of being the B1s, and I'm not sure...
I mean, it's not as good, right?
Yeah.
And it's not as good to the point where, like, one, that's an entire revision of coordinated fire as a rule, which isn't great. Like, you know, we're a bit too far down the garden path at this point, but I think just don't make it exposed, because exposed is a silly condition.
I would be happy, Quinn, if they had 6 health.
I think that's all it takes.
I would be happy these staying as they were, but with 6 health.
Fair enough.
I think that would be enough. I think they would still be some of the best support units in the game. I think they would be an absolute auto-include in any Galactic Republic list. I played a point down with these guys and still absolutely smashed somebody the other day. Like, it's brutal what they do. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We're a bit too early into the game to start saying, oh, this needs changing, that needs changing, whatever else. But for me, these guys, they've just been tweaked that little bit too much. And I do think 6 health, and what it would do is a couple of things. First of all, make them that little bit easier to take down. But also, it would mean your opponent would be far less willing to move them a little bit further up the board. And then they're a little bit less impactful as well. So
you know what the most egregious thing about them is?
Go on.
I think the most egregious thing about them is that they make Mace feel like a 7 instead of a 6.
Yes.
In terms of what he brings along with him, like his output, definitely that of a 6. Like he's very, very good. Like what he does on the board is incredibly impactful. But because these guys are so good, they skew the perception of that box just ever so slightly upward, like in terms of everything else, that suddenly one thing that's probably a bit too good suddenly makes the entire box feel a bit too good. Which
Let me
is
ask
a
you a
little
question,
bit,
Quinn.
no. Go on.
Forget points cost.
Yeah.
Are these the best clone trooper supporting unit in the game?
They are the one I would take over the others, but I think that speaks more to the fact that maybe the 4-cost clones aren't as good as they should be for 4-cost. Like
there we go, right?
They do their thing. Like the thing with Republic for me is that they pay a tax on their support units. So their primaries and their secondaries are really, really strong. But to a degree, there is a tax on their supporting units in the sense that they are very much supporting units, right? They contribute to what other people are doing. They are not as good individually when they activate on their own, for the most part, compared to something like droids or
absolutely,
or something else like that. And I think the thing with ARF troopers is that they take that supporting other people thing just a little bit too far.
Yeah. But that's my point, is that if comparing them just to the clones, if these were 4, you wouldn't look at them and go, oh, they need a bit more to be 4.
I'd want maybe one, like, just a little bit extra on the combat tree.
Maybe a damage or two or something like that.
Yeah, like maybe, you know, that they do like pin and 2 damage. Like maybe each of their condition results just gets an extra damage added to it, and then there are 4.
Yeah,
I don't
maybe.
mind that.
Maybe.
Yeah, like there is one place where I would be okay with coordinated fire exposed.
Go ahead.
And I've said this before to you. I don't think I've said this on video yet, but I would really like to see a 5-point cost Echo and Fives Arc Trooper unit, where you get them in a pack with Evan Peel, the little guy from the Citadel episode, and like a young Grand Moff Tarkin, and it gives like Republic that bigger, higher cost support unit that does really impact the game because they got that exposed. It feels like they warrant it because of who they are in terms of lore, whereas ARF troopers, they're scouts. I don't know why they're like so impactful.
Yeah.
It feels like this could have been a thing that Commandos did.
And they cost 3. So, yeah. But there we go, guys. That is the breakdown of Windu's box. Fair to say, if you are planning on playing clones, or you're planning on playing Galactic Republic, they are definitely one I would be picking up.
Yeah, like I'd be picking that box up probably in the hierarchy of the individual squad boxes. Is probably second.
It's second, and it's the only reason it's second is because Obi-Wan exists.
Yeah,
right. 100%. So, where do we think then, Quinn? What's the sort of makeup at the moment? I know you mentioned you've got a bit of a love and affinity to your Aniobe setup. What do you think right now is the optimal list for Galactic Republic? Because there's a couple of different routes you can go down now, aren't there?
Well, I can tell you what the least optimal is.
Is it Luminara?
It's anything involving Luminara. Fucking
for me, I'll tell you mine, and then I'll see what you think. But for me, I'm probably looking at Obi-Wan with Rex, and then the Clone Commandos, and then I'm looking at Windu with the either, and I think there's an argument for both here, either Windu with Pons and Arth, or Vader with Ahsoka and Arth. I think for me, because I do just think Vader is better than Anakin.
I mean, he's not for sure.
He is.
He's genuinely not.
He genuinely is.
No, he straight up isn't.
He's straight
but
up.
But for one, he should not have the Grand Army. He shouldn't have Republic tag.
I agree.
Second I agree. Of all, I think Anakin suffers from being in the core box, much like Avengers do in MCP. Because...
No, I don't think so.
It's definitely a thing. Like, if you play Anakin well, he will have more impact on a game than Vader will. And the good thing about Anakin is you don't build your list around him. You're not forced to. Like, with Vader, you want people that want to be in melee. So you take, like, your super commandos and shit like that. Whereas with Anakin, all he really wants is someone who can move him about a bit.
Yeah. So would you still say Anakin, Ahsoka, Arth over Mace Windu, Pons and Arth as being the best, the most optimal at the moment?
I think it genuinely, for me, depends on what I want to play on the day. I think I would win more games with the Anakin list, but it would only be by, like, in terms of win rate, it'd be a couple of %.
That's fair.
In my opinion. Like, it is negligible enough that I don't really care and will just play what I fancy.
That's fair enough. I was thinking the other day, like, how would you build a strike team? Sorry, a premier strike team now with clones, because it's
very easy.
Because I think what you do is you have your Obi-Wan list.
Your Obi-Wan squad is the squad you intend on playing every game.
And you take playing every game, and then you swap out the other 3.
It's kind of what I did for the event that we're currently running on the Discord. Like, before I knew the contents of Mace's box, like, fully, we just had Mace. I still put him in there. So I had Mace's box, I had Anakin with Ahsoka and the 501st.
Yep.
Then I had Obi-Wan Rex Commandos. And then my other squad was Maul Cody 212. Because Maul, one, he doesn't care about where he is in terms of synergy. Two, he brings force without spending any, which is something that Republic absolutely love. I could also see, Maul being swapped out for an Ahsoka. If you're a masochist, then maybe a Luminara. I don't know. If you really hate yourself that much, maybe seek therapy.
Luminara, Quinn, and you did admit the game we played the other day, you did see a couple of things with Luminara's card and the way I played her, and you were like, oh, I didn't realise she did that way around and things. Yeah. And there was a couple of things in there, wasn't there, where, they were pretty...
It was mostly just going through Precise Strike again and realising that if the chosen unit is out of the order deck, they don't have to shoot the same target.
Yeah.
That is, like, the big thing. But I still think, like, she, as an actual character, and not what she, like, just pokes other people to do, is subpar.
Do you know, for me, I think Luminara would have been perfectly serviceable. Excuse me. If she brought an extra force. I think that's one of her problems. But then having an 8 that brings 4...
It's not a thing.
It's not a thing. It's not a thing yet.
It's just not a thing, full stop. It's not going to be a thing.
But yeah, it's fair to say, Quinn, that I think GAR right now, Galactic Republic, are probably in the best spot. I think they've now taken the best spot. I think up until the release of Windu, it was Separators. Yeah.
Equally, we're probably very soon going to get a release of Cad Bane.
Yeah, which will shake things up completely.
Shake things up. Might actually have some Separatist synergy, because he does work with them a lot.
Well, you've got the Shadow Collective, right? You've got Jango Fett, who he's going to, you'd imagine, because Django's got that bounty hunter tag on him as well. You'd imagine that Cad Bane's ability, identity will be bounty hunter based esque type thing. So I think that could be quite good. I'm looking forward to them. I can't wait. And the fact it's been brought forward is really good.
Yeah, I mean, I really couldn't I say I couldn't care less about We Are Brave, mainly because it's the worst named box out of the lot, and there are some bad names in there. Plans and Preparation, anyone? But
yeah, plans and preparation to blow things up.
What? Plans and preparation to spread terror amongst the citizens of the Republic.
Yes. Because I hate war.
I hate war, so I'm killing people. What? We're peacekeepers. I blew people up because I love peace. Yeah, Barry's a bit fucking thick. Yeah, I will probably end up getting the Padme pack with the Handmaidens at some point, but I'm not overly looking forward to it. Mainly because it's not the version of Padme I want in the game.
Yeah,
I don't want weird royal, pomp and flair.
You want operative Padme. You want Padme.
I want Senator Amidala. I want Padme when she's going off and she is a Spec Ops agent. Legitimately, she has Spec Ops training. I want Clone Wars Padme. I don't want weird Episode 1 Padme.
Yeah, so you want Senator, not Queen.
I want Senator. I want her to have Captain Tycho, I think it is, the guy with the eye patch. I want her to have the Naboo guard. I want her to just do a thing. Be pretty synergistic with Republic. Maybe a little bit of something with Anakin. I want that version of Padme. I don't want the one where she's doing the weird accent.
Oh god, yeah.
Because I watched Phantom Menace recently. I was like, why is she doing a really weird British accent?
No, but that isn't her, is it?
No, that is her.
Are you sure?
She does the same accent.
Oh right, okay.
They both do it. Her and Keira Knightley both do it. It's really weird. Oh yes, Chancellor. It's like, what are you doing?
My
Talk normal.
Chancellor. My Chancellor.
Yeah, the
it's weird.
Chancellor. I will not accept this attack on my people. Like, what's wrong with you?
Very
Have
strange.
have you had a stroke? Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
weird. But I will be buying her, because do you know what? She'll probably have the best supports in the game.
What? She'll have half troopers.
Yeah, maybe. They'll give that expose and strain.
Oh yeah. So, I mean, to be fair, I wouldn't mind it as much on them because handmaidens are legit spec ops. Like,
They are very, very good. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're very, very good.
Can't wait to see what Sabre does. She's gonna be cool.
Yeah. Cool. Quinn, every fortnight we run our painting competition. And last week I got to choose and I decided it was going to be Show Me Your Ahsokas. So either Padawan Ahsoka or Ahsoka Jedi No More.
There's
and
only
we got,
one Ahsoka,
there is,
and I
yes.
don't have her.
And we got some really, really good entries in. But as we like to do, Ron and Quinn have been shit and haven't painted theirs up. But here is my Padawan Ahsoka. The base needs a little bit of a tidy up. But yeah, there you go. That was mine. Just to show you all that we do paint as well. Less regular than we'd probably like to, but we do still paint. So we had some really, really good entries this week. But the one that I picked out to be the winner was Like a Prophet, who, I'm going to say, Quinn, I really, really like the base on this.
The basing is very nice on it.
The base is really good. The black lining is really, really nice. But they have replaced the lightsabers with, they're all battery powered, so they do light up. He did show us another picture. My only comment on them is they become very chunky, but
Yeah, like
I
it
gather
looks like she's holding a Lego lightsaber.
yeah, but I gather that's just, it is what it is. But
Yeah.
really, really like this one. I need to know where he gets those little, little leaves, the little like leaves that he's got. I've got some, but they're only autumnal ones.
Do you want me
So I
to blow
wanna-
your mind?
Go
right
on.
now? So I put leaves on my bases, and they are like spring summery leaves. They're greens. Do
Yeah.
you know what I use?
Go on.
Actually, 1 second, I'll go get it.
Is it herbs? Are they herbs? Hey, Ernesto, is this yours, buddy? Congratulations. Congratulations. Really, really liked this one. Is it like thyme or oregano or Italian herbs or something?
So for my like fresher leaves, the ones that I put on after the first lot, that are more freshly fallen, parsley.
Moving forward, we can't see.
You're not going to be able to see it anyway because I'll blur it out. Like, if I do that,
Parsley.
no, it's parsley. And then the other one that I use for my more like dried older leaves is this little bag of dried mint.
Wow. And I tell you what, I bet it's a hell of a lot cheaper.
This entire bag of mint that will last me my life cost £1.
Yeah, I think this was like 11 quid. So yeah,
this thing of parsley that will probably also last me my entire Shatterbook
entire
career.
life.
It's probably £1.50 at the most.
What's going to be the deal with the Bugle next week if the AMG stream runs into Bugle time, which it might, considering it starts at 5 p.m. over there?
The mini extravaganza isn't until September.
No, did they make an announcement they were going to do a stream? I think they did.
Oh, I've not seen that. If that is the case,
yeah, I think they did.
What have they announced?
We'll just take a view, Charlie. We'll just take a view and see what it is. Let me check here. What were the sort of timings they were talking about?
I mean, they posted some very cool looking Legion models with like some vehicles. I really like this like downed like little gunship they've done.
Yeah,
like
it's
the
pretty
clones
cool.
there, they're pretty cool. I like the black and white R2D2.
Well, these are not models though. These are a staff hobby challenge. So it's taking the existing models.
Yeah, I know they're not new.
Oh, okay. Right, just making sure.
I can't see where this like announcement is, but I thought the mini extravaganza was like the end of September.
Yeah, I don't know. They put something out the other day.
14th and 16th of September, so middle of September. So
Yeah, I'm not sure then.
will that still be that? Will that be a bugle day? No, surely that'll be a Wanna Wanga day.
Yeah, Charlie, what is it you're referring to, mate? Because we're not entirely sure.
Like, if it is the mini extravaganza, we probably do like a live watch along.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's fine.
Oh, we are pleased to share that we have a mini announcement stream for MCP ahead of Gen Con at 9 a.m. PST. Okay.
When's like what day?
2nd of August, which will be
A week from now. Yeah.
a week from now. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we tend to start later anyway nowadays. We're typically
it
5:30.
tends to be more 6. It tends to be more 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock.
So we probably
they'll
we've
found
be
it,
done
Charlie.
by then, and we probably just discuss what they put on there because, let's be honest, there's nothing else to talk about.
We'll probably bump it an hour, give us time to soak it all in, watch it, and then we'll do a reaction straight away afterwards. So that'll be
really funny if the announcement was, "We're destroying MCP."
MCP, yes, you stand here above my achievements.
It's literally just like the MCP logo, and then it just explodes, and then Dallas dances in, going,
No, it's Legion. They just explode the Legion symbol. But yeah, there we go, guys. That is it for another episode of the Wanna Wanga. Thank you so much for joining us.
Whoa.
Oh, Quinn, what is this next fortnight's painting challenge?
Technically not my go, it's Ron's, but I will act in his stead.
Oh, how very kind of you, sir.
Because I know that he's been painting him up. I think he's finished with him now. He had a real tough time with not putting him on a statue.
See, I now know what you're talking about straight away.
I am, of course, talking about... What's his official title? It's like Supreme High Marshal of the Separatist Armies or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Your man, General Grievous, who is an absolute chad, and I have been loving in game as of late.
Yes, yeah, very, very good. He's very, very good. He's kind of the Separatist answer to Anakin, right? Is that just like, I'm just gonna murder you?
Yes and no. He does a lot more supporting than Anakin does.
Yeah, he does, but he has to, right? Because Anakin definitely murders you.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, okay. So the challenge for this next fortnight is show us your Grievuses. Put them in the normal place on the Discord, and we'll take a look in 2 weeks' time. That's going to be it for us, guys. Quick reminder that the TTS League, the first ever TTS League, is going to be starting on the 7th of August. Did Grievous come out? Yeah, about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
A week ago, I think.
I had him 2 weeks ago.
Wait, 14. Oh, yeah, probably 2 weeks ago, actually, thinking about it. Yeah. He was a little bit after the other releases of the month.
But it only ended up being like a week or two, didn't it?
Yeah, it was meant to be like 2 months, but it ended up being a week.
Yeah. So, we've got a TTS League running, guys. I've done a video on how to sign up. Go check that out. It's completely free to join. You just need TTS. Also, we are doing our ongoing events over on the Discord. So if you want to be part of our ongoing events, this one has got 1 round left. So we'll be starting again next week. So check that out as well. Again, anybody can join in just to get some extra games in. If you want to support us on Patreon, you can do for as little as £1 a month. And a big shout out to all of our Patreon supporters. Also a big shout out to Neil and the team at Leodis Games, sponsor of the channel. Thank you so much for making it that little bit easier to continue running everything that we do. And as always, guys, it leaves us with just enough time to say stay well, keep safe, and